Yo, it's TKO, episode 24, I think. Tales of the Road, Part 2. I am coming to you live from Inlet Beach, Florida. Alright, we'll just pick it up from where we left off last time. This was supposed to be Tales of the Road. I did the first one in Biloxi, Mississippi, after a night of gambling at the casino. And I was like, maybe I'll do a day 2 in Biloxi after the comedy festival, and we'll get to that. And then Sunday I was supposed to go to New Orleans, and I was like, man, then I'll do an episode in New Orleans, and then Monday I was supposed to come here to Inlet Beach, Florida, and I was like, and then I'll do an episode here. So we'll do a bunch of different episodes, 4 episodes in 3 different cities. Tales of the Road. But so picking up where we left off last time. Okay, so after gambling in Biloxi the day before the comedy festival, I drank too much Coronas and had a terrible night's sleep. The chicken tendies and the Coronas were just not agreeing with my tummy. And I was like, fuck, man, I got a comedy festival tomorrow. I'm going to be there all day, and I'm going to be drinking a ton. This is terrible. This is not good. So I was able to get a few hours of sleep, and then I woke up and Friday I ran. Wait, no. Okay, so I woke up, and then Saturday was the first 5K. I'm trying to run a 5K every single day this week. I just did. Right now it's Monday, and I just did my third one. So I've done Saturday, Sunday, and Monday 5Ks, and I gotta finish out Tuesday through Saturday. And I'm also shadow boxing after the 5K for like 10 minutes or so, just to move around. So I woke up on Saturday. Just pounded electrolytes and water, chugged some Celsius, and then went for a 5K in Biloxi, and then shadow boxed, and just was pounding electrolytes, and I started to feel better. I threw in a ton of creatine, because creatine is very good for you if you're sleep deprived. So I downed like 8 grams of creatine, which I usually only do like 5. I've heard people take like insane amounts of creatine, so it's not a big deal. It's not going to kill you. So I just jumped up on the creatine, and I got some Waffle House, and then headed over to the... Shout out to Waffle House, man. I had that for breakfast that night, and then I didn't eat the entire comedy festival and got back to my hotel at like 10 p.m. And there's just a Waffle House right next to my hotel, so I ate Waffle House again. I had Waffle House twice. So shout out to Waffle House, holding down the block and keeping me fueled with nutrients at an affordable price. Breakfast food is the best. So I pounded some Waffle House and headed over to the comedy festival. And the comedy festival was immaculate. The hang was amazing. Getting to hang out with my buddies, Jasper, JD, Dun, and Shay. Those are like my buddies from my area, between like Montgomery and Auburn. And then there were some buddies from like all over the South, like Roderick McDaniel, Comedy Mothership regular, Creek in the Cave regular from Austin, Texas. Unk. That's Unk. He's the homie. I've featured for him a handful of times. I've talked about him on here before. He's just the fucking man, dude. He's such a great comic, too. He's like a legit veteran, 20 years plus, professional. Like, his job is stand-up comedy. That's all he does. And he's just the nicest fucking guy. He wants me to come out to Austin sometime, and I just need to make it happen. I'll get there eventually. But hanging out with him was dope. Everybody got tattoos except for me. I decided to play it cool, not get a tattoo because I was going to a beach house with my family for like a week. That's where I am right now here in Florida. Dude, this house is fucking crazy. It was built last year. It's an $8 million house, 4 stories, pool, hot tub. I mean, can't even describe how sick it is. It's like an Airbnb. We're the first people that have stayed here also. So it's like if you wanted to pretend to be like a cocaine drug lord, you could rent out this Airbnb for a week. God knows how expensive it is. It's an $8 million house, so who knows? But yeah, I decided not to get a tattoo. It's just like I want to swim. I almost did though. I almost pulled the trigger on it. I drank a ton. I switched to high noons at the festival, and I tried to pace it out better. I had like a few during the first comedy show, and I was like, fuck, I'm getting kind of buzzed. I need to slow the fuck down. I'm not going up for like another 3 hours. So I took off like almost 2 hours until like 30 minutes before the show, and then I pounded 2 more high noons, and I was like, oh shit, I guess they're kind of stacking, because then I drank like half of another high noon. So within a span of like 20 to 30 minutes, I just chugged like almost 3 high noons or something, and they just kind of hit me harder than I anticipated, because I guess I had some earlier, and maybe there's some sort of stacking effect. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm kind of fucked up. I was like, I need to stay in the game because I got to tell these jokes here very soon. And then I walked down. My buddy JD opened the second show. Jasper, out of our crew, the only one that wasn't on the second show was Jasper was on the first one. But JD opened the second show, and then there was a comedian from Louisiana, I think, or Texas, I don't know, on the second show, or in between me and JD, and I was third. So after JD opened, I went down and sat down on like the side area while the second comic was up. And I'd been talking to JD about like how I structure my sets, and I've talked about it here before. Like, I always open up with like 2 or 3, depending on how long the set is. I call them jabs. They're like just light jokes. Nothing crazy. I'm not saying anything too offensive or dark or fucked up. They're just like little. I mean, they are funny, but they're just I just don't like start off swinging. Basically, these are just jabs, like feel out, just to get a rhythm and get you guys on board with me. Basically, to like establish a relationship with you guys and get you on board with my set, kind of, before I get into like fucked up shit. And then when I was sitting on the side, the comic before me was doing some crowd work with a lady in the front, and he brought up a topic. He brought up a dirty topic that I had written a joke about that week. Like I wrote this joke last week, and it's one of my dirtiest jokes. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I literally just deleted all the jabs out of the front of my set, and I put that joke in the set. 'Cause I was like, I'm not going to do this joke because it's a new one, and maybe it's a little too dirty for this festival. I think the average age at the festival was probably like a little bit older than me. It might have been like 40s, maybe like low 40s, I would guess, maybe low mid 40s, which I'm cool with that. I actually do like an older crowd, honestly, because I'm in Auburn so much. I'm used to like college kids, and I'm like, I'm a 30-year-old dude. I kind of play. I feel like I play more. I also do have a lot of historical references and like old references. And I just feel like I connect better with like an audience between 23 to 23 and up, honestly. Or I can connect with everyone really. But my prime range is like 25 to 35, I would say, because that's like where I'm at. But the crowd was super sick. They were cool. I opened up with that dirty ass joke, and I mean, I got some insane pops during my set. But that I knew it was going to be a great set because I was like, you know what, I'm going to throw this joke in the front. No jabs. We're just opening up with probably the craziest opener I've ever done. And I mean, the crowd went wild. And then in the back of the room was like a balcony that you could walk upstairs, and there was like a balcony in the back, and that's where all the comics were. And as I was like scanning the room, just watching people laugh at the opening joke, I looked up at the balcony and just saw a bunch of like dark silhouettes because it was dark on the balcony. I just saw a bunch of dark silhouettes of like all the veteran comics, like 20-year plus comics, headliners. Like I could see them grabbing their chests and laughing. Like I could see that it crushed the room and killed with all the veteran comics. I was like, hell yes, dude, I'm representing right now. And there was a couple jokes later on in the set. I mean, that got crazy pops. So I did my thing, dude. I told you guys I was gonna represent, and sure enough, we did. And then I just continued drinking high noons. Probably at like 10 or something. And then some of the guys went to a casino, and I was just like, I need to Uber home. And the Uber was kind of hot. I enjoyed talking to him though. The whole trip, every time I got in an Uber, I was just chatting. I was just learning about, just asking them where they from, what's going on. A lot of them were plugging downtown Ocean Springs as like a fun place to go hit bars. So I didn't go because I did plenty of drinking. I was like, I don't need another venue that sells alcohol. I've found plenty of those. I've had my fair share. But the Uber ride back to the hotel, it was kind of bumpy, and it was just a little bit warmer than I would have liked. And like the closer we got to the hotel, I was still maintaining conversation, but I was like, dude, I feel like I'm gonna fucking puke. And then, but then he got me to my hotel, and then because I hadn't had food all day. All I had was Waffle House at like 11 something, and then the rest of the day was just like double-digit high noons until after 10 at night when I got back to my hotel to eat Waffle House again. But the Waffle House helped. Dude, I woke up. Yeah, so the festival was great. I mean, getting to meet a bunch of like 20-year plus like veteran pro comics and getting to like crush and do my thing. Like when I walked up to the balcony, Jasper was like, dude, people were like painfully laughing. That's how hard you were crushing. And I was like, dude, hell yes. Thank you. Everybody did their thing, man. There was a lot of great comics on that fucking festival too. Man, the crowd got their money's worth out of that. That was a dope show. And the hang was amazing. That's the best part about comedy is it's the cherry on top if you murder, if you're just a great comic and murder. But the funnest part is literally just hanging and joking around with comics the whole time. Like we were back, like we were just goofing off the entire day and just making each other laugh. I'm hanging out with like professional veteran hilarious people. And I'm holding my own, you know, I can riff with the best of them. We had some great riffs. Damn, it was fun. Then I woke up the next day battling a hangover. I had a headache going to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night with a headache and had a headache in the morning. Still pounded out my 5K. You know, I got up and ran a 5K. I was hoping sweat and a Celsius would get me out of the funk. and it kind of helped, but I still had a headache, so I took an Advil. I almost never take any kind of pain medication or whatever, but if the hangover is bad enough to where I have like a terrible headache, I will take one Advil. It's almost never happens, but it happened. And that actually really did help. Because I was like, I'm driving 3 hours to Florida. I don't want to have a headache the whole time. Usually I'll just tough it out if I just feel off. But yeah, I was going to go to New Orleans. I had a hotel room and I had tickets to see Mark Normand. Because I was supposed to do comedy, and then Mark Normand bumped me. He bumped our little, the show we were going to get on. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to drive all the way to New Orleans just to see Mark Normand in a small room of like 30 people. So I was like, fuck it. I just hit up the venue and was like, hey, I got 2 tickets. I can't make it. I don't want them to go to waste. If you know anyone that wants to go for free, I'll just give them to you. And they were like, hell yeah, dude, I'll find somebody. And they were like, if you come back, we'll comp tickets to your next show. And I was like, oh, I'm coming back soon, but I want to do comedy. I'm not trying to buy tickets to see some shit. And then 2 of the comics I was with at the festival ended up going. And I was like, one of them told me he wasn't even going to go. Because I was kind of seeing if he wanted to. I was like, I'll pull up with Rod, you know? I'll go hang out at this thing with him. I've got an extra ticket. I was like, we can go chill with Rod and watch Mark Normand. You know, he's a comedy mothership regular. I can hang with him. But he was like, no, I'm just going to New Orleans to visit some friends. I'm not going to do comedy. And then he ended up I guess he just made like a spur of the moment decision. He went and hung out with another comic from the festival. And I was like, if you guys would have told me, I think they got in for free. I don't think they bought tickets, but or maybe they got my free tickets from the venue. I don't know. I was like, I hope they didn't buy tickets because I was literally trying to give mine away. But the festival was amazing. Crushed. Represented. Did my thing. Legendary hangs. Great times. Great jokes. And then I was like, you know what? Paradise awaits me in Florida. And I pulled up here at this fucking sick-ass beach house. And it's been fucking dope. So I'm going to go swim. And do some hood rat shit. Y'all have a great weekend. Hold on. Let's at least get 20 minutes, okay? It's 18 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm going to challenge you guys. I'm going to challenge you, okay? Like I said, I'm running a 5K every day this week. If you're listening, I want you to do some sort of physical task every day. Like, come up with a weekly challenge. Like, I'm on vacation this week, and I'm still doing a weekly challenge of running a 5K every day. So, if you're a TKO listener, I want you to get out there and figure out if you're not ready to run a 5K every day. I don't know. It doesn't even have to be running. I don't know. Figure out something to do and do it 7 days in a row. And then if you want some respect, DM me and tell me you're doing it or did it. You know? And another thing that I just want to say I'm grateful for is I've been getting a lot of respect for my joke writing. And like at a lot of the local open mics, I'm like being introduced as like one of the best joke writers in the scene. And the guy that ran the festival yesterday was posting pictures of people, and he tagged me, and he posted one of the pictures with me because I said amazing time here, shout out to Lunchbox Comedy Festival, and it's a picture of me on stage. And then he posted it and was like, one of the best, in all caps, best joke writers doing the damn thing. Always excited to have you on a lineup. And I was like, dude, it just feels great to have people respecting my pen. Not that I don't even really write. I just kind of flow off of premises. But people are respecting the joke writing. And I'm grateful for that because that's the biggest compliment you can give me. I'm not I don't even want people to say like, oh man, he's a fucking, like, to me, just someone telling me that I'm an amazing joke writer is better than people saying like, oh, I mean, I would like for people to say I'm an amazing comedian, but specifically if you compliment my joke writing, because that's something that's my whole thing is like I'm all about joke writing and joke telling. Like I'm not doing a lot of stage presence, act outs, and shit like that. I'm literally just a joke writer and joke teller. So that's like the best compliment you can give me. And I just really appreciate that I've been getting acknowledged for it. And, but shit don't stop here, bro. We're just getting started. It's year 3. Year 1 was a learning process. Year 2 was exponential growth. I mean, it's really coming together. I can't imagine where we're going to be at in a few years. Like I still get nervous before each shows, but my confidence is like it just from experience and just pulling up on shows with like legit comedians. Like I know I'm on like a first name basis with several comedians that are regulars at the Comedy Mothership, which is like one of the best clubs. I do shows with veteran pro headliners and I fucking hold it down. So my confidence is up. I'm confident in my abilities to kill. And we're only getting better, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds. And you guys are going to hear about it each step of the way because you're the real ones, the day ones, the TKO nation. You guys are powerful listeners of TKO. We are an elite crew. We roll deep and we're lethal. Love you guys. All right, I'm going to go swim. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Bye-bye.